So after being awake for 28 hours, I have not only achieved the world first level 100 character in Hardcore Solo Self-Found, but I was also trying to push the pit as fast as possible. I have learned a lot of things along the way, and therefore I'm bringing you guys my updated leveling guide. The full journey from 1 to 100 took me 11.5 hours on Hardcore, so you guys can definitely do that a little bit more risky on Softcore, but I will give you all of the information necessary. So the updated stuff will be linked down in the description below in my Season 4 compendium, and this is going to be a living document where all of the findings are going to be implemented, so you have something you can have open on your second screen. And also, if you want to see this developing live, I suggest you check out the Twitch live stream, because I will be live right now as soon as this video premieres. And then if you have any specific questions, you can come and ask over there. So first step is still going to be create a character on World Tier 2. The leveling is going to be insane. I was hitting the first breakpoint of 34.5 in around 1 hour and 10 minutes, so that's extremely fast. And then you're going to unlock the Iron Wolf seasonal journey as fast as you can, while you are then going to blast the Hell Tides. Again, it's extremely important that you are going to be picking up the herbs that you find, especially early on. It is very important because you want to be, as you can see here in the general section, always keeping up an elixir for at least 5%. And what is very, very cool are these seasonal elixirs. You have the elixir of Holy Bolts and the elixir of Momentum, and those are actually insane when it comes to leveling. Although I wouldn't use those on World Tier 2, and I would save them not only for when you are breaking into a new World Tier, so at the start of World Tier 3, at the start of World Tier 4, but also they are coming in extremely handy when you are speed farming the pit for masterworking materials. That is an insane speed gain, especially the elixir of Holy Bolts basically permanently one-shots everything on the screen after you have killed one of the enemies. So it's an extreme DPS, and it's also an extreme time boost. Now, you need to focus on the Helltide meter, especially in a group. It is extremely important that you are filling up the meter and communicating it to your group members, so you can group up again a little bit more, take the additional density and kill it for huge experience gains. It's still very important to ignore the Blood Maiden event, but if someone who hasn't watched this video starts the Blood Maiden event, you go in, you tag the Blood Maiden, just do a little bit of damage when she just spawned in, and then you go about your way, still focusing on the leveling guide here. And then when the Blood Maiden is going to die, you just before that go back and then pick up the loot. It is extremely easy to do it that way. You just tag her once with one of your abilities, go about your way, play the Helltide normally, and then go and collect your loot after they have helped killing the Blood Maiden, because it literally doesn't give XP. All of the Hellbones that are spawning in during that event are just dangerous, so this means you are going to die over there for sure, and they are just taking your time because they don't give any experience. Then it is extremely important to hit that first breakpoint, as I said, with 34.5, and then go into the capstone dungeon. On the minion necro, it was the easiest capstone dungeon that I have ever done in my entire life, and I didn't even have the craziest gear. So very important to just focus on getting the armor up, and also having your lightning resistances ideally capped if you can, but also all of the other resistances quite a lot higher than you would usually do, because there might be some stuff that can catch you off guard, especially lightning from the guards that are known to be dangerous in the capstone 1 can become a problem. And afterwards, you are in World Tier 3. For this, you are going to start and complete the Onyx Watchtower as well as the Temple of Rod Strongholds to get some early sacred items, and then we are basically repeating what we did in World Tier 3. We're going to be blasting Helltides again. You still want to be picking up all of the herbs that you find, especially Angel Breath is extremely important. You complete the events, and if you're in a group, you still focus on your threat meter. More so, the Helltide chests you need to open as late as possible, because the experience they provide scales with your character level, so the later you open them, in the Hell Tide, the higher level you are going to be, which in turn is going to give you more XP per cinders that you are spending. And as well, you are going to ignore the Blood Maiden event, and then you are gonna hit 54.5, which basically gets you to that second capstone dungeon instantly. You are going to re-imprint your stuff, get your armor up again, and focus on mainly fire and shadow resistance. And then Elias is absolutely no problem. The minions have decimated him in like, I don't know, 5 seconds at most, and it was an extremely easy fight. And you are extremely strong on the minion necros, but probably all the other builds are going to hit quite a power spike inside of World Tier 3 during the Hell Tides, so the capstone dungeon is not going to be any problem. Then you are in World Tier 4, you are now going to use all the obols that you have gotten from the events that you've been doing in the Hell Tide to use on the obol vendor to get a lot of ancestral items. So at the very least, you are going to click all of the items until you have one legendary. Ideally, if you can't get that, I would suggest you click all of the item slots just once, so you have an ancestral piece in there. But only if you are changing that, if you are changing rare to rare, basically. I was full legendary when I went into World Tier 4, so that was not an option for me. So I just pressed the weapon as often as possible. I got a legendary. Then I went and did the same with the armor until I got a legendary chest, a legendary pants, and so on and so forth. And then I was basically full ancestral at level 55 in World Tier 4. And from then on, it was actually also a breeze to blast through the tier S and A tier Nightmare Dungeons. You can see that I also have the Nightmare Dungeon experience tier list here in the same document, so you can have that up on the same on the second screen. But obviously we also feature that stuff on the Maxroll page, so if you like to see the icons, obviously that is also working. And while you're doing the Nightmare Dungeons, it's extremely important that they are exactly 10 levels above you, because that way you are going to make use of the 15% experience multiplier that the plus 10 level monsters are going to give you, and you are going to complete all of the dungeon events because they give huge amounts of experience. I have seen events give me a quarter of a level. It was actually insane. So definitely do those, and if you want to min-max, pop in incense while you're doing so. It is actually crazy if you do it, and it's skyrocketing the leveling efficiency insanely fast, especially if you get to the 90 range. That is definitely something that you can do with the incenses, but again, super min-max, you don't have to do that. Leveling is very fast even without that. And then you are going to have your glyphs at level 21 at some point during the Nightmare Dungeons that you are doing. And then next up, it's extremely important that you stop salvaging all of the items that you have. At this point, your general material tab should look pretty okay and pretty fine, but gold is actually becoming a problem if you go into the later stages of the game. And therefore, you need to incorporate a little bit of selling, a little bit of salvaging. Definitely make sure you check out the materials tab and see how well you're off with all of the materials, because gold is actually a rarer thing now, and you are not having the best time of your life when it comes to gold in general. Then you are going to have to make a decision. If you want to kill the normal bosses only, then you go with A. But if you want to kill the new tormented bosses, which is extremely hard, by the way, you are going to go with B. So if you want to kill normal bosses, you make the best out of your time after having leveled the glyphs to 21. And then you are already going to farm boss materials in Hell Tides and focus on Angel Breath in the meantime, because you need that for enchanting and re-rolling your items. And if you want to kill the new tormented bosses instead, which again are extremely hard to do, then you need to focus on the option B. In this case, you are going to complete the seasonal journey, chapters 6 and 7, which as we go into the game, you can see that the 6 and 7 will give you the caches that will provide Stygian stones. So this champion's summoning cache is going to give you Stygian stones, and the 7 also has the same thing right here, the Destroyer's summoning cache. Because you need the Stygian stones, you need 2 to summon a tormented Uber boss in the first place. And then in the meantime, you are going to be doing the Hell Tide whenever you can. and ignoring the Nightmare Dungeons completely, because you still want to get the Iron Wolf's ranks and Angel Breath, of course. And the Iron Wolf's ranks are actually also pretty interesting, because if you talk to Sude here, then you can see that here in chapter 17, you are getting unspeakable goods, which also seem to contain Stygian stones. And if you want to kill all of them, all of the tormented Uber bosses, which are 6 plus Uber Lilith, which doesn't require materials to enter, then you need 12 Stygian stones. And that is actually really, really hard to do, because we have been farming on the live stream for around 10 hours or so in several pit levels, trying to get Stygian stones up so we can finish the hardcore boss race, and it was actually impossible to get them. The drop rate seems to be super, super low, and even Woody was farming alongside me. He had like 2, I had maybe 1, and we've been blasting for a collective of like 20 hours just in the pit alone, and we found like 3 or 4 Stygian stones in total. So definitely make sure that you are finishing the seasonal chapter 6 and 7 to get that the Stygian stones, and also grind the Helltide in the meantime. So chapter 6 and 7 actually include some very important things. So you can see that, for example, you need to do tormented gifts, tortured gifts, for example, but way more important than that, you need to also masterwork, so you need to go out and about and do all the different things. Might need to kill some Andariels and some Duriels along the way, as you can see here, to complete that, but not really that hard of a deal. But chapter 7 is a lot harder, because you already need to kill the Tormented Echo of Andariel and Tormented Echo of Duriel. But then again, you are gonna get Stygian stones back when you are completing that chapter 7. So it might actually be, especially in softcore, a good idea to go for Echo of Duriel and Tormented Echo of Duriel and Tormented Echo of Andariel first, before you are doing all of the others. And if you have any questions to the guide or your progression in general, or also all of the Necro builds on Maxroll, I'm gonna be live right now answering all of this while updating the Maxroll guides. And I actually need to re-level my character, because I died because I was brain AFK in a pretty high pit level after being awake for, again, 28 hours. Yeah, if you want to join me, the Twitch link is going to be down below. We'll come hang out. Let's talk season 4. I'm actually having a blast. I want to know how you feel about this. And yeah, if you like content similar to this, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.